Hello and welcome to Health Professional Radio. I'm your host, Neil Howard. Thank you so much for joining us again. I'm going to be speaking with Robert Davidson, CEO of CURE Pharmaceutical. It's a drug delivery and development company. He's joining us to talk about their delivery platform called CUREform. Welcome to Health Professional Radio, Robert Davidson.
Oh, thanks for having me on today.
Now, of course, I did mention that you are CEO of CURE Pharmaceuticals. Give our listeners a bit of your professional background. Talk a bit about CURE Pharmaceuticals' mission, and then let's talk about this CUREfilm technology.
So I'll start out with my academic backgrounds in biological sciences, public health, epidemiology. So very interested in healthcare all across the board. In my 24 years, I'd say, in being in the industry, I've had multiple startups, 6 different companies. Mainly in drug delivery dose form. Really, the goal has always been to deliver medicine more effectively to the patient population. Not just medicine, though, also nutrients, wellness products. Worked in a multitude of areas within the healthcare industry. And I started CURE Pharmaceutical with 5 different partners, all ex-biotech high-level executives. And we really started the company with a mission in mind, and the mission was to be able to distribute medicine more effectively into emerging markets, areas where it's really difficult to get medication into those areas because of distribution reasons, cold chain distribution, you name it. So we started the company really working and focused on pediatric malaria, believe it or not. A couple of us spent some time in Africa doing some mission trips and really working with health clinics in different areas of Africa. And some of these areas really difficult to find clean drinking water. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the medication given for pediatric malaria was powders that you had to mix together in water. Mm-hmm. And that was a problem because you could find a can of Coke, right, or Pepsi, a lot more readily than you could find clean drinking water. They would actually mix in the powders in juices and other types of liquids because they couldn't find clean drinking water, and killing the actives. And, a treatable disease became untreatable. We set out to figure out a better format for delivering these actives and just being able to ship these actives lighter weight, more effective. Mm-hmm. And that's where thin film, CUREfilm was born for CURE Pharmaceutical. And we actually grabbed a couple of grants, NIH grants, to focus on building out that delivery platform. If you, I don't know if you know what the CUREfilm is, but it looks like the best example, I guess, is the old Listerine breath freshener strips. Okay. If you see those,
yes,
a little bit more, technologically advanced, so to speak. It allows us to put actives into the thin film format. If you think about going back to the mission story, the ability to put drug actives in a thin film without the need for water, you can just take it and put it on your tongue and it dissolves, or put it under the tongue or between the cheek and gum, depending on the delivery route, it dissolves and you're delivering that active more effectively to the body. And you're potentially delivering it so much more effective that you can use less dose. Mm-hmm. And the way that works is by augmenting where you're delivering the drug, right? So if you're delivering the drug under the tongue, or through the buccal cavity, you're shuttling it directly into the blood. And that bypasses first pass degradation in the gut and first pass, processing in the liver, which allows more active to get into the blood, faster and more effectively. So that's kind of the goal for us. We know thin film's easy to ship. We know it's a sustainable manufacturing process. It takes less energy potentially. And that's all a positive. And that was really the goal and mission of the company. So we built out this platform via the initial mission. We were lucky. The platform lent itself to multitudes of different actives that we can deliver and for different indications. And that's where we're at right now, is taking advantage of that.
You say a multitude of different applications and conditions. What type of actives would you say lend themselves best? Types of conditions would you say this technology would benefit the most, the fastest?
Well, I was pretty surprised a couple of years ago when somebody brought to my attention that 40% of the population has difficulty swallowing pills, right? It's something called dysphagia. And that was surprising to me. I did not know that. I'm in the industry. I probably should have known that, but I didn't know that. So, if you can imagine, it could be anything from swallowing pills, pediatric patient population, if you think about that, right?
Yeah.
So it could come across a multitude of indications. Again, like I said, and geriatric, right? Older population. As you get older, it gets more difficult to swallow pills.
Yeah.
Emergency medicine. Think about emergency medicine. You're having a stroke or you're having a heart attack. You want that in there quick. No one's going to be swallowing pills probably when they're having an acute event, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it really does. When I say broad platform, that's really what it is. It could be for, if you have pain, you want it to be, you want to get rid of the pain quicker. The nice thing about the thin film, we can create time release mechanisms. We can get it into the blood faster. So it really could cross over to, a variety of indications. And also, different molecules. The original concept of thin film and delivering actives was really, you can only deliver water-soluble, highly, bioavailable actives, the non-difficult actives or APIs, to deliver difficult ones, lipophilic molecules that, have low bioavailability, low solubility. We were able, with our technology, to actually deliver those actives more effectively. And this can expand into other areas. If you think about oral vaccines and you think about, potential some of these injectables, as we advance the technology, there's a lot of potential in that area.
You recently announced CUREfilmBlue. Talk about CUREfilmBlue and how soon do you think that the FDA will give it the green?
Yeah, that's a good question. So CUREfilmBlue is it's a product that actually utilizes sildenafil citrate, which is the generic form of Viagra. Mm-hmm. It's well known, obviously. It's got well studied, toxicology. We did just get approved for our IND, so we will be doing our PK/BA studies over the next quarter. So it really, it's a 505(b)(2) pathway. That's the nice thing about, we're not looking at new molecules as much as we are looking at taking molecules that are already well known and delivering more effectively, potentially using less of the active, creating less side effects. That's why we are, excited about this first product, because we think it's a great educational product to teach people about the use of thin film as a dose form. And we think that's a great leader, because again, it's widely used and it's for ED, but it's also for other indications, and we can talk about that. But we think, hopefully in 2022, at some point, we believe around the third or fourth quarter, we may have the approval for going to market.
You mentioned less side effects. Being that the film is going to be absorbed faster, as you say, more efficiently, would some of those side effects be more severe, more pronounced because of the absorption? And when it comes to side effects of any of the effectives, that quicker absorption, that more efficient delivery, does it present a problem for side effects?
Yeah, that's a good question. So when you look at the body physiologically and the way most delivery systems or drugs are delivered, it goes to the gut, and then it gets, you have this bolus amount of active which means a concentrated amount of active going into the liver. And that, the GI and the liver are probably 80% of the areas that you do have side effects, and you probably know that. And there's reasons, you get changes in the molecules, and you have, clearance in the liver, and there's lots of reasons why you have side effects. The concept here is to deliver less active, right? And you don't have to deliver quicker. So we can augment the release of the active. So just because we can get it into the blood more effectively doesn't mean it all has to go in at once, if that makes sense. So we do encapsulation technologies. We do cross-linking with polymer systems that create time-release, methods for delivering the active. So if you can do that and use less active, we believe we could widen the therapeutic index. The therapeutic window is, basically defines how much active and where the side effects lie, and how close you have to be to get that efficacy, within a range of non-toxic effects. And that most of the windows are very narrow. So if you go a little bit over or a little bit under, and everyone's physiology and metabolism is different, you're going to get side effects. We think if you can deliver less active and have the same efficacy, I think you can inherently, think about having less side effects, and that's really part of the mission, especially if you're matching that the release points or the pharmacokinetic profile of the drug.
What do you think the learning curve would be as far as physicians, medical experts jumping on board, I guess, because, some habits die hard when it comes to oral medications?
That's a great point. And that is a big deal, is educating the market, educating the influencers in this case being the doctors and physicians, right? The nurses. And so I agree, healthcare practitioners. That is why we picked a very well-known active, because we believe if we can sell that or educate the public on why they should be doing, CUREfilmBlue versus a pill, and really showing the doctors, look, this is more convenient. It's actually, it's obviously more private, right? It's, you're not taking a pill out in the open. You can take the thin film anytime you want. You can carry it in your wallet. You don't need to drink water. So it's an easier way for a patient to have privacy and take the product, and not worry about, having to have water ready or just, availability. And you're gonna, and a better way to deliver it, having more efficacy in the delivery. I think that's going to be a great educational tool for CURE Pharmaceutical in the future for the products behind CUREfilmBlue.
Well, we'd like to learn some more. Where can we go online and learn some more about CURE Pharmaceuticals and your CUREfilm technology? We
have a website, CUREpharmaceutical.com, and we also have some social media. We have a LinkedIn page, which you can look up, Twitter, Facebook, and I believe Instagram as well. So we constantly distribute information, not just about our products, but health in general, because, again, our mission really is to help patients, create healthier lives and, a more convenient and effective approach to healthcare.
And once again, that website is www.CUREpharmaceutical, just like it sounds, .com.
That's exactly right.
Well, Robert, I appreciate you joining us here on the program. It's been a pleasure.
Well, thank you for having me today.
You've been listening to Health Professional Radio. I'm your host, Neil Howard, in conversation with Robert Davidson, CEO of CURE Pharmaceutical. Audio copies of this program are available at hpr.fm and healthprofessionalradio.com.au. You can also subscribe to our podcast on iTunes. Listen in, download it, SoundCloud, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/healthprofessionalradio.